In this video, we will show you how to solve quadratics by completing the square in the quadratic formula. First, the definition of completing the square is the method of converting a quadratic equation, which is not a perfect square, into the sum or difference of a perfect square and a constant by adding or subtracting the suitable constant terms. The definition of the quadratic equation is a formula used in algebra to solve quadratic equations. The general form of a quadratic equation is where x represents a variable and a, b, and c are constants. A quadratic equation has two solutions called roots.
We chose the quadratic formula and completing the square to better our understanding of a topic that much of algebra builds off of. Here's how the quadratic formula applies in real life. When you throw a ball, shoot an arrow, or anything like that, it goes up in the air, slowing as it goes, then comes down at a faster and faster rate. A quadratic equation can tell you its position at all times. In this example, a ball is being thrown from 3 meters above ground with a velocity of 4 meters per second, and it is being pulled down by gravity at about 5 meters per second squared. When you write it out, this is a quadratic equation. The ball will hit the ground when height equals 0, so if you make h 0, you can solve from there.
First, we will show you how to solve quadratics with the quadratic formula. To start, this is the quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We will start with an example problem showing how you can apply the quadratic formula to a polynomial equation to solve for x. The equation is 2x squared plus 7x minus 4 equals 0. First, you will need to identify your a, b, and c values. In this equation, a equals 2, b equals 7, and c equals negative 4. Next, plug these values into the quadratic formula. Your equation should be negative 7 plus or minus 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 4, all in the square root divided by 2 times 2. Next, solve the values inside the square root and simplify the bottom. For the top, 7 squared equals 49, and negative 4 times 2 times negative 4 is 32. Add those two together and you get 81 inside the square root. Multiply 2 times 2 on the bottom. Your equation is now negative 7 plus or minus the square root of 81 divided by 4. Finally, we can solve to get our answers. Use addition first to get your answer. After calculating, you should end up with 0.5. This is because negative 7 plus the square root of 81, 9, divided by 4 is 0.5. Your next answer, you should get negative 4 with subtraction. Negative 7 minus 9 divided by 4 equals negative 4. Finally, to make sure your answers are correct, plug your two values into the original equation. Both should equal 0. This is how you know that your answers are right. Now we will show you how to solve quadratics by completing the square. We will show you how to do this with the example problem y equals x squared plus 5x minus 36. To start, you will need to create your 2 by 2 square and fill it with what you can from the given equation. You put 2 x's in the top left corner. This comes from the x squared in the equation. Then you will need to put negative 36 in the bottom right corner, because this will be the sum of your two solutions. Next, you will need to find two numbers that add up to 5 and also multiply to negative 36. These numbers are 9 and negative 4. Fill in the rest of your box with the new values. Negative 4 and 9 will be on the outside, and what they multiply to on the inside. The top left box is x squared because x times x is x squared. The top right box is negative 4x because negative 4 times x. The bottom left square is 9x because of 9 times x. And finally, the bottom right is negative 36. Your numbers on the outside of the box will become your equation. Y equals x minus 4 in parentheses and x plus 9 in parentheses. This indicates your answers will be positive 4 and negative 9 because it's always the opposite sign of what's in the equation. Finally, plug 4 and negative 9 into the original equation. Both should equal 0. This is how you know your answer is right.
We chose to make our video about quadratic equations and completing the square because we knew it well and realized the real-life situation it applied to, and also to deepen our understanding of a topic that much of algebra builds off of.